Hello, baby girls. Welcome back to another episode of It's Okay, Baby Girl. Hope you guys are having a great week. This week just been top of mind for me, I guess, lately is dealing with the community and judgment from others within our communities. Especially if you grew up in a brown community, whether it's a religious community or just a cultural community of sorts, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're brown or just grew up in a tight-knit group of people, then you know that there's no such thing as boundaries, and there is a lot of unsolicited advice, judgment, rumors, gossip, all the things, especially from a group of people that we like to call the aunties. And it can be really hard to navigate because these people's opinions have a lot of weight, and I don't know if they necessarily have any regard for our feelings. They probably don't. That's why they do it. But I'm here to help you navigate how to deal with situations like this because I've had my fair share of experience, and I'd like to share some funny stories just to give some perspective and to show how things can still turn out okay. So if you're going through this right now, hopefully this episode helps you kind of experience some clarity in these situations because it can be very complicated, and especially when it comes to your parents too getting involved in these things, it can be really hard to handle sometimes. So I'm here to just kind of support and help navigate. So let's get into it.
Qu'est-ce que je vais te nommer? Je vais te nommer l'amour, l'amour tendre, l'amour qui chante doucement dans mon cœur, l'amour sans logique à la raison.
So I'm going to start off by sharing a really funny story. This is probably the wildest fucking rumor that has ever gone around my community about me. And I just find it hilarious because the creative license that people have, like the audacity. I just love how people have nothing better to do than to talk shit about like someone very insignificant in the grand scheme of things, like me. I'm just minding my own damn business, but yeah, I'm the talk of the town. And honestly, that just goes to show how much I piss people off. That shows my fucking power, by the way. So if people are talking about you, you're relevant. And they don't like that. So you should be proud of yourself because congratulations, you're cool now. People are talking shit about you. That means you are relevant. You are something worth talking about, apparently. All right? We don't talk about shit that's insignificant. All right? We only talk about the cool people around here. So, anyways, there was this rumor a few years ago. It was funny because my parents actually sat me down and told me what was going on. And at the time, I was so pissed off. You have no idea. I was like angry crying. But now I look back on it and I'm like, people are just freaking dumb. Like, why you got nothing better to do? Go get a hobby. Read a book or something. Like, freaking, why are you using your time to talk about me of all people? But here we go. This is what happened. I was told that there's a rumor going around a church, okay? A place that, we come for support and community and love and kindness, right? All the things that a church is supposed to do. There's a rumor like this going around among the church members, okay? The community members that are supposed to be like family, right? This is what I find fucking hypocritical. But anyways, that's my personal opinion. Back on track. I was told that there are people saying that the reason I failed out of nursing school and had to transfer to a school in Dallas is because I had a drinking problem and that I have liver failure. And mind you, I go to a church full of brown people who majority of them work in healthcare. So to me, that's just hilarious that a bunch of people who are medically trained just assume that at the time a 21-year-old has liver failure. It's crazy because I showed no signs of liver failure, walking around living like a normal person. I'd be dying, yo. And my first thought was, where the hell is my GoFundMe for my liver transplant? Nobody cares about this shit? Like, first of all, where'd you even get that? And then also, I guess somebody saw me post a picture on social media with a glass in my hand of one drink, by the way, in a pool. But I was of age, okay? 21 years old, legal drinking age in the US. And somebody somehow got that picture and thought that I was an alcoholic. And on top of that, the original picture was just one glass. By the time the rumor went around, I was in a pool full of bottles of alcohol. That's how far it went. So let's just break this down for a second. A bunch of medical people, all right, with medical knowledge, licensed professionals, are going around talking about the fact that I have liver failure, which sounds stupid to me because they should know better than that as people who work in healthcare. And then another thing, how does it that a picture with me holding one glass turns into a picture of me with bottles of alcohol in a pool? How does that make any sense, right? So this just goes to show that half the information that flies around about people is not even true, right? Also, yeah, I failed out of nursing school, but it wasn't because I had a drinking problem, all right? First of all, I don't drink that much in the first place, and I never drink alone. I only drink with my friends and family and whenever I'm out somewhere at social gatherings, if I even feel like it. Half the time I don't even pick up a drink. That's how little I drink. So for people who don't even know me to be talking about the fact that I have a drinking problem when they never even drank with me or been around me in social settings, I find that freaking hilarious. It's so funny to me, okay? Hilarious. And that just goes to show that people have nothing better to do than to talk shit about people that they're jealous of, okay? Or maybe they just, want to fill in the blanks. At the time, there's nothing to be jealous of. Because, yeah, I did fail out of nursing school. Who wants to be in my shoes? Nobody, obviously, right? So maybe they were just trying to figure out what happened. What happened is none of your business, by the way, okay? What happened is I left schools, okay? I left a school and I came to another school. And that's all you need to know. And now I have a degree and a license. So mind your business, all right? Another rumor that came about recently, like in the past 6 months, someone told me, and you know what? If this person, whoever started this, I applaud you for the amount of creative license, okay? Because this is actually so funny to me. When I heard it, I couldn't stop laughing. But the past few years, I have become a professional dancer. And a lot of my dance is Egyptian belly dance. First of all, nothing inappropriate about it. If you think so, then good for you. Then it's just not your thing. But it is a cultural art form that's lasted for centuries, and it is something that I personally enjoy and love to do. But apparently now, a bunch of people within my beloved community are saying that I'm a Muslim now. Okay, first of all, I grew up in a Catholic community. I'm a Muslim now, apparently. Yeah. I also don't live with my parents. That is now true, but at the time it was not true. Still living with them, by the way. And that I never finished nursing school. And I'm a full-time dancer. I dance, I choreograph, I perform. Yes, I do it sometimes. But my full-time job is nursing, okay? I am not a Muslim, all right? Never converted to anything. I am just me, and my personal beliefs are none of your business. And yeah, I don't live with my parents because I'm a nurse, and I can afford to live on my own, all right? So whoever came up with that, thank you so much for wasting your time coming up with some random ass story about me. But if you're listening to this, I hope you're laughing because it is actually so funny, the things that people have told me that they've heard about me. And I grew up being a nobody. To be honest with you, I grew up being someone who was very kind of, in the corner. To me, honestly, I felt like I was not the popular kid. I was not the cool kid. I was just the kid. At one point in my life, I had a phase where I was just like super religious and that was like my thing. But then eventually I just kind of eased up on everything. And now I'm just a very mediocre, average person like anybody else. Okay? But I've done some things that I guess some people find to be different, questionable. Some people might even think that is wrong. And you know what? To the people who think that, sorry that I offended you, can't make everybody happy, but this is my life and I'm going to live it however I want. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. Just look away, I guess. I don't know. But the point of me sharing these stories is not to talk shit about whoever was sending rumors about me. At the time, I was like so upset a few years ago with the whole liver failure thing. That was really, there was a lot to take in as a 21-year-old. Now I'm 24 years old and I am more mature and more self-assured, and I don't care what people say about me because I've heard literally everything and none of it is true, so it doesn't even matter. But I just want to share this because if you're a young person going through this, or you're afraid of your community because of what certain people have said about you or made up things about you, and now you don't know how to save your reputation. Girl, what reputation? Forget it. Just live your life. Who are you trying to please at the end of the day? Even if you're doing something good, they will find something to say about you. Okay? That's just the fact of the matter, is that's a parasite that is sucking the shit out of our community right now, is, being truthful, being honest, and being respectful. That is not a thing for us anymore, apparently. And that's not really going to change unless we personally choose not to become like that. I talked about this in a previous episode. Let's not turn into these aunties. Let us not be that. I already see some people doing that shit, and it makes me sick. Because you probably already know how it feels to be judged by someone in the community, to be talked about behind your back. You probably already know. Odds are you've gone through it. Everybody has at some point. So let's not do that shit. Let's not continue the cycle. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there is nothing to do other than mind your own business when it comes to these people. Even the young people talking shit about their peers. There's nothing to do other than live your best life. Make them mad. You know what? Now it is my goal to piss you off. Because if I piss you off, that means I actually mean something to you. Okay? And that means I'm doing something that is attention worthy. So I'm going to continue doing it. Thank you for fueling my fire, by the way. Yeah, no. Use it as motivation to be even better. Like, if people want to think I'm a drug addict and someone dying of liver failure, great. Good for you. You just sound like a freaking idiot, by the way. All right? People think I've converted religions and that I never finished nursing school and I don't have a career other than dancing. Good for you. Do you know how stupid you look when other people know the truth about me? Yeah. So if you're going through this, someone said some stupid shit about you, you're afraid of people coming up to your face and asking you dumbass questions, let them look stupid. It is not your job to make them feel comfortable. It is not your job to make them be convinced of your personal choices. It is not your job to let them know the truth. Let them be freaking stupid. Leave them be. If that's the kind of person they are beyond saving. All right? That is God's problem at that point. So don't feel bad. I did feel bad. And I felt like, who is even saying this and why would they say that? Somebody who don't care about you, girl. That's who. People are just revealing their true colors. And one day you will know who said it. Trust me, you will find out. And when that day comes, then you will realize who truly has your back and who's fake. So be grateful to the people who talk shit, because they just reveal their own skeletons on their own. So if you're dealing with gossip, drama, all this crap, it's your choice whether or not you want to be immersed in the community. My personal choice is I like to stay away from people like that, energies like that, and I find a lot of it within the community. So I'm more of someone who keeps to myself. I keep my circle small now because of, the type of environment I like to surround myself with. That's just my personal choice. If you choose to be in that community, you're going to have to find ways to build up emotional boundaries so that whenever people say things to you, it's not going to affect you. You know who you are at the end of the day. They don't need to know who that is. They can think who you are. They can assume who you are. But you need to have some sort of emotional boundary to protect yourself so that it doesn't get in your head. Because what they say is not true about you. So don't let it be true in your mind too. So with that being said, I hope this helps. And if you find that it was helpful for you, somebody else going through it, feel free to share the episodes, send me feedback. You can follow me on Instagram. The podcast title is It's Okay Baby Girl. Same thing on Instagram. So you can look us up, or in the link in the show notes below, you'll find it there. So feel free to send all the feedback, any podcast recommendations, any questions, comments, concerns, any other resources you need. You can always find if you just message me. I'm happy to talk to you guys and happy to help in any way I can. So with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you again for listening to another episode. And just remember, it's okay, baby girl. If you're going through this right now, you are going to come out on the other side a champion, and you are going to see that the people talking about you are just beneath you, and they know that. That's why they're talking about you. So remember that next time someone's got your name in their mouth, just know that it's because it's an important name and you're doing something right. They just don't like that. So, anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go, but I love you guys and take care. Goodbye.